This should be the golden age of fantasy, dude. That we've got the 100%. Money, we've got the ability. Like fantasy is tailor-made for prestige television. Game of Thrones broke ground on that. We thought, oh my God, we're going to get a Conan show and a Red Sonja show and an Elric show. Robert Jordan, we'll get Wheel of Time. Sorry, Disparu.
14 books. You could have literally got 14 years of 24 episodic television out of that. All you had to do is do it properly. Oh, could have printed money.
Gold mine.
We should, though. It should be the epic age. I mean, the technology exists to create anything. Unfortunately, our favorite fantasy novels aren't exactly politically correct.
Yeah, man, that is true. And instead of making them accurately and going, hey, this is a make-believe story, and we're going to stay accurate to it because there's a built-in fan base that we really want to bring along, because those built-in fan bases act as shepherds to new fans. They bring new fans in. Game of Thrones would not have been as big of a success if it was just binged, if it was drop all at once. It was a weekly model. It built.
Where's Jeremy?
It built over no. And then a lot of there was watch parties and families, and I was the guy, and I'm sure everybody had a book guy there. You had a book guy there filling in some blanks for the normies who were getting in. Then they started reading the books, and the book sales went up, and it just helps. And they stayed true to the book until they didn't, because they ran out of material. That should be your roadmap. And everybody does the wrong thing immediately. Hey, let's piss off the fans. You know, like, why is there a need to fill Tolkien with modernity? Why? It's not a good business decision. It's just like, hey, let's make, Rings of Power, this show we're going to make. We want to bring in all those Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings fans. We want to bring in the book fans that have been around for decades. But Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings made more fans because it was spiritually in line with Tolkien. Even I know why Christopher hated it, and I don't think Tolkien would have liked it, but it got a lot of people to read its books, and a lot of the fans believe, hey, it was in the spirit of it. Again, that's your roadmap, and it's considered an anomaly, like a one-off, like lightning in a bottle. It shouldn't be. They just honored Tolkien's messages. They honored the book. So now we have two big fantasy shows. One's a complete flop. I don't care how they spin it. You spend $1 billion and get beat in your home country by a dude on a fucking tractor. That's bad.
Sexiest man in the UK twice running.
And honestly, I mean, in a totally not gay way, Jeremy Clarkson is the only thirst trap the world needs. Okay, that is a fact.
He's peak performance, and I'm tired of pretending otherwise.
Yep.
You spend $700 million on that first season when you combine it with the $250 they had to pay for the rights. The reports are that the second season cost more than the first season in terms of just actual budget for the season itself. So maybe around $500 million plus.
Yep.
Just for season 2. So you're spending significantly more than any other television show out there. If you want to talk about House of the Dragon as competition, House of the Dragon costs about $200 million per season. You are spending significantly more than that on Rings of Power. And all you can get is, well, it's the top show in the world on our streaming service. Congratulations. Holy fuck. Like, that is the bare minimum. They're effectively getting the same amount of views as something like The Boys, but that's a show that costs between $80 and $100 million per season. That's a much better bang for your buck. That's actually something you can do long term. You can't spend 5 times that and only end up with the same result and expect a profitable business. It's not the top streaming show in the world. That's the reason they said the number one show on Prime Video.
Yep. Yes.
Multiple Netflix shows are out, like not even big ones, like some random thing you've never heard of. Season 3 on Netflix is like outdrawing Rings of Power.
Yep.
Like, that's just the reality.
Yep. Correct me if I'm wrong, Robert. You might know. There's never been a differentiation between Prime Video customers who automatically get Prime Video, like the Prime customers who automatically get Prime Video, and actual Prime Video customers. I don't think we've ever heard that.
No, that's absolutely true. And I think what is also missed is that Amazon and Apple, for instance, their primary business is not creating programming.
Yep.
Apple's trying to sell their products, and Amazon is basically selling you their shipping service. That's what Prime is. You sign up for Prime, you get great shipping. They want you to buy their products. Having a streaming service is more of a lost leader for them. They want to get people to come in and buy Prime. It's like a gym membership. You have Prime. Some people don't use it very much, but they've still spent the money for the year, and they get all the perks. But for Amazon, it's almost free money. So them spending money on shows. I mean, they have ungodly amounts of cash to do it, and they don't want to lose cash. People think that, they can spend as much as they want. At some point, someone's going to be like, hey, you've lost us a lot of money. And Rings of Power, make no mistake, is by far the most expensive entertainment property ever. I mean, the rights alone were what, $450 million just to get the rights to make the show before $1 was spent on production. The economics on that show will never work. It doesn't matter if every human being on Earth watched Rings of Power. There's no way you can justify how much it cost.
No, I don't think Rings of Power is bringing new people. I would argue it probably has an adverse effect. Not that people are getting rid of their Prime, because they're not. But I doubt Rings of Power is bringing anybody to Prime, which is essentially the only way it makes money. There's no real merchandise for it. It doesn't have a real cultural footprint, which doesn't matter all the time, because I understand James Cameron's Avatar will come out, make $1 gazillion, and nobody will ever talk about it. But like, there's no cosplay at cons. You don't feel the chitter chat. The only talk is how much it sucks, and there's no theories being broke down. You want to see a healthy show? House of the Dragon. We see memes, positive. When you see positive memes for a show, and positive is still clowning the show, but in a positive manner. It's all over the place.
You know, it is in line with Amazon making Rings of Power, because you could call Rings of Power a shipping service too.
And that's the thing, like, you can have shows that get massive success without having as big of this cultural footprint. You see Netflix do it all the time, one, because they have a massive subscriber base and a lot of different varieties of people that tune in for different shit that can make these things successful. But even on Amazon's own service, something like Reacher doesn't have near the cultural footprint or isn't talked about near as much as some of these other majorly successful shows, but it's a little bit different audience that's tuning in.
Yeah.
It's typically people that are a little bit older and aren't tweeting about what fucking romance they want to see next time on Reacher. It's just people that are tuning in, enjoying the show, turning it off and going to sleep and coming back for it next week. But that outpulled Rings of Power. That didn't cost nearly as much to make as this show did.
What the Variety article said when it announced the 40 million things, it quoted a source within Amazon and told them that basically they were downplaying the cost of everything. Like, before the first season, they wanted that billion number to be out there, and now they're downplaying it. They said 250 million for the rights and 150 to 200, I think it was, for each series. So they definitely want it down there. We've also know from previous things, it's not just the costs for Amazon Prime. Amazon know that if you buy Amazon Prime, you will spend more than somebody that doesn't have Amazon Prime. So it depends how they start messing with the numbers, right? They could take all that extra profit from a sign-up and just add that to the cost of Rings of Power and go, well, that's why we got that money. So it pays for itself. Because they've said in the same Variety article, they want people to go through all of their things. So it is a loss leader. But I think around season 1, they said, if you watch Rings of Power, the next time you buy something on Amazon or the next time you subscribe, that gets counted towards Rings of Power, whether you would have done it anyway or whether you were already subscribed.
They're lying to themselves. So it's divisions within the corporations boosting the numbers and like, maybe not outright lying, but maybe just manipulating them to make them look as positive as possible to the executives who don't fucking pay attention at all. And they're convinced they are convinced they have a hit when they actually don't, because they're not on the ground floor. They're not watching any of these shows. And now Jeff Bezos is sitting down watching an episode of Rings of Power. Are you freaking kidding me? You get bored in 5 minutes and go like jump on his dick rocket. Yeah.
The sad part is I think we all want to like this show.
Yeah.
Like, you don't, what people don't understand, I think, about modern fandom, even us old school fans that get completely discounted. Like, I'm an old white guy shouting at clouds, so Star Trek isn't made for me anymore. But the thing is, I want to like it. And it's so maddening to have liked something for so long and then watch people come along that clearly are not equipped to deliver what they should be delivering. And they're letting down Amazon. They're letting down the audience. They're letting down everyone.
Everybody. And the big difference is, Robert, we live in an era where stuff doesn't get canceled. That's why the Acolyte was that was a bit of a shocker that it got outright canceled, because we got 5 seasons of Star Trek Discovery. And they're going to I promise you they'll commit to 5 seasons of this show. And fine, go right ahead. The result will be the same. But, you know, it wasn't just a decade ago where stuff like this would get canceled. Think about all the... Daredevil was canceled. I know the reasons behind it, but the fact that Daredevil was canceled, a show that had 3 banger seasons, is insane. A great show called Counterpart with a great concept with J.K. Simmons.
Great show.
Fucking great show. Got canceled. Sarah Connor Chronicles got canceled. and unfinished. We had all these, we could go back, and now we get like just garbage, and they keep going because they don't want to look bad to their investors. Because of their politically correct and message-based casting, they're afraid to cancel stuff. Look what happened to the Acolyte. Look who's mad at Disney. It's not us. It's not us. I said it on my stream. I said something I never thought I'd say in the last 10 years. Disney was right. Disney was absolutely right to cancel this show.
Nerdrotic.com. Please subscribe.